And it's funny because, for me to relate to my son, it's a little challenging, you guys. And it's not that I can't relate to a teenager, because I can. I can relate to almost any age. I got people that brought kids here tonight. The problem is that my son doesn't see me as an entertainer. He sees me as the guy that tells him to take a shower, put on deodorant, stop picking your nose. That's me. His friends, on the other hand, I'm like a god to his friends. Every time I drop off Frankie at school now, I pull up, the kids see my car. They freak out and they run over to it and they put their hands on it like it's a shrine. They touch the car like freaking, Selena está aquí, Some of you got that. Gracias. Anyway. Then the kids start shaking my car side to side, chanting, Fluffy, Fluffy, Fluffy. And Frankie's in the front seat, pissed. He's pissed. He's like, this is bull. I'm like, hey, dude, don't get mad at me because I'm more popular than you at your school. Little hater. He gets out of the car all mad. They're still chanting, Fluffy, Fluffy. The thing is that our worlds are very different. His world revolves around Grand Theft Auto, the video game, YouTube, and girls. He's really good at 2 of those. The other one, not so much. And it's not that I'm trying to be a hater about it. It's just that I tell Frankie, listen, you need to start having more conversations. You need to become more talkative and interact like this. See, he'd rather text than talk. That's his whole thing. I'm like, dude, you gotta learn, start to talk to me. I wish you would talk to me more. You could learn a lot about talking by talking to me. I'm just saying, I only do it professionally. But no, he'd rather text. It's at the point now where if I'm in the house and I yell, Frankie, did you take out the trash? Nothing. All of a sudden, cling. I take out my phone, no. But if I say, I got money for you, freaking Houdini, right? Oh, hello. Because you can't text cash. That's my big thing right now. I just want him to take out the trash. He's 16 years old now. He should have been doing this since he was 10, but better late than never. And what he does is he'll sit in the living room and he tunes out the rest of the house. He sits there and he'll put on these headphones that I got him for Christmas a couple of years ago. These Beats with the freaking studio button, and it cuts out all of the sound. They are so strong that when he starts watching his YouTube videos, he can't hear himself laugh. And for me, that is the funniest thing in the world. I'm in the other room and I can hear him. This is what I hear. I'm in the other room like, who brought the Germans? And so I walk out into the living room and I see Frankie and he's laughing at his phone and I gotta flag him down. I go, hey. And he'll take him off. What's up, Dad? I go, Frankie, can you do me a favor? Can you please take out the trash? Okay. And then he puts them back on. What? Now? I go, yes. Now? When you ask me for a ride, it's because you need a ride when you ask for it, right? Not later. Then he says, where are we going? Just take out the trash. And then he does it. He takes out the trash, but he acts like he's doing me the biggest favor in the world. And he stares me down and he doesn't break eye contact. He's like, and then I'll hold the bag over the can and he makes a sound. I'm like, dude, so much drama. It's crazy. I'd like to have normal conversations with him, but usually I got to take it that far for us to interact. I look forward to conversations. Even if it's something small and minute, at least it gives me a chance to trigger another conversation with him. I look forward to a few things. I look forward to December, because in December, Frankie becomes very chatty. Otherwise, he's one-word kid. Parents, you know what I'm talking about. Kids, one-word kid. And you try to talk to him. Hey, how's your day? Good. You have any homework? Yeah. You gonna do it? Maybe. You hungry? Mm-hmm. What do you want? Food. Ah! Usually that's what I get. But December rolls around, and guess what December is? December is when he becomes very chatty because he has an agenda. All of a sudden, he goes from one-word kid to very like, hey, how's your week, Dad? You doing good? Yeah, how are the shows going? You doing all right? Do you need anything? You need anything? I'm like, I needed this in July, just saying. And I know it's fake, but at least, once again, it allows me to put my real conversation on top of his fake one. And if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. I have a bus driver named Dave who has never received any credit, and he's been working for me for almost 10 years now. This man has successfully gotten me to every single comedy show on time without fail. If I had to describe him to you, okay? Dave looks like the word America. Not America, America. He's about 6 feet tall, he's white, he has a gray beard, and he wears a trucker hat. And he's gotta be one of the most hardworking people I have ever met. Now, when I say hardworking, hey, I'm on the road 46 weeks out of the year, so I know. Difference is, I fly home every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Dave stays on that bus and he gets it to the next city where we meet him. He works anniversaries, holidays, special moments. Christmas time, I was with my family. Dave was driving that bus on the East Coast. New Year's, I was with my family. Dave was on the East Coast driving that bus. One of the hardest working people I've ever met. I just want to give him a shout out. In addition to being hardworking, he's very honest. Now, when I say honest, I don't mean, oh, he does his taxes right. I mean painfully honest, no filter honest. He talks the way people used to. He does not have time to mince words. He just calls it like he sees it. Before me, he used to work with a man by the name of Kenny G. Grammy Award winner, amazing, amazing music. One day, Kenny G was on his tour bus that Dave was driving, and I guess the two of them had a little discussion, and Kenny G used some words that Dave would have rather him not have used, and instead of getting into it with him, this is what Dave does. kicked Kenny G off of his own bus. Because he would rather lose his job than lose his self-respect. And that's the man I work with. He's a bad dude. You guys are clapping, but you should have seen the interview. Oh man, it was a good one. He looks at me and he says, "Hey, let's get one thing straight. I don't give a who you are. You treat me right, I'll treat you right. You pay me on time, you'll live." Not to mention the fact that he keeps that tour bus squeaky clean. And he takes a lot of pride in that as well. One night, I was drinking on the bus, and I go to put my cup down, and I missed the table, and the cup hit the floor. I didn't get up right away to get the cup, because I figured I'm gonna get up in a couple minutes and make myself another drink. I'll pick up the cup then. Dave sees the cup on the floor, and then he looks at me and says, "Hey, I ain't your mama. Pick that shit up." I get to the back of the bus and I'm like, wait a minute, I pay him. "Hey, Dave, shut up. Yeah, I'll be in the back in my room. Thank you. Drive safe." And people tell me, you work with a man who talks that way to you? Why? Let me tell you why. Because he's honest. With Dave, you know exactly what you get. Nowadays, it is so hard for me to tell who's being genuine and who has an agenda. And with him, you know exactly where you stand. If he likes you, he loves you. And if not, you're on the curb with Kenny G. That being said, I have a story to share. About 1.5 years ago, maybe longer, we're on the bus and we're heading down the highway. Just so you have kind of an understanding of the bus layout, let's say this is the front. Here's Dave, the driver, empty seat, and then a sliding door that goes in between him and the rest of the tour bus. My buddy Alfred and I are in the living room portion and we're watching TV. We're watching the news. And on the news, there's this person who is running for some type of office. No particular office. And I guess their big plan is to erect a structure between two bodies of land. Somewhere. And I guess they want one side of the structure to finance the entire project. Well, my buddy Alfred and I, we have a lot of family that works in construction, and we know a bad job when we see one. So we started to voice our opinion out loud about how we felt about this person and what they wanted to do. We're being very loud. So loud, Dave can hear us. And then we hear Dave. America. I yell out to Dave. I said, "Be quiet, Dave. This isn't about you." He taps a button on the dashboard that activates the sliding door. And when the door's about that far from closing, he yells out, "I'm building a wall." I couldn't even get upset because I was too much in shock over the fact that that came out of someone 4 feet away from me. My buddy Alfred and I, we look like chickens. We're like... My cell phone goes off. I take out my phone, and there's a text message from Dave. And I said, "That's right, he better say I'm sorry. He better say just kidding." I open up the text message, and it says, "And you're paying for it." And people tell me, "You still work with him after that?" Yes, I do. I trust that man with my life every single night. I know where his heart's at. He can say whatever he wants. At the end of the day, he still has to drive around the king of the Mexicans. One day, Kenny G was on his tour bus that Dave was driving, and I guess the two of them had a little discussion, and Kenny G used some words that Dave would have rather him not have used, and instead of getting into it with him, this is what Dave does. Kicked Kenny G off of his own bus. Because he would rather lose his job than lose his self-respect. And that's the man I work with. He's a bad dude. You guys are clapping, but you should have seen the interview. Oh man, it was a good one. He looks at me and he says, "Hey, let's get one thing straight. I don't give a shit who you are. You treat me right, I'll treat you right. You pay me on time, you'll live." So my son has these two friends that come over the house all the time. One friend, his name is Ken, works a lot with computers. The other friend, his name is Fabian. He wants to be a police officer. Both of these kids are really, really good. Now, I keep calling everyone kids, even though they're all 18. But to me, they're kids. I'm almost 40. I'm like, you know. Like some of the conversations that we have are very adult-like. And the other conversations, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? For example, at home when I'm hanging out, I usually just wear, you know, very similar to now, except the Hawaiian shirt. I usually wear like a t-shirt that has like either Star Wars or Marvel Comics or Transformers on it or cartoons. You know, I like wearing stuff like that around the house. One day, I'm wearing a t-shirt that has the Avengers on the front. And I walk into the living room, and my son's friend Fabian sees me wearing this shirt. And so he starts pointing. And I'm like, "What's up, dude?" He goes, "Weak." "Excuse me?" "Weak." And then he says, "DC's better." "What did you say?" "DC's better." I'm like, DC's okay. You know, Obama lives there. They pass laws. They got hotels, historic museums. It's not even a real state. I don't know why you're getting cray-cray. He goes, "Nah, fool, DC Comics." And I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm almost 40. I don't care. It's just a really cool shirt. I like it. It fits. No big deal." "That's because they are." I go, "You need to relax. They're the best." I go, "You need to chill." And in my head, I'm like, why am I having this conversation? I have better things to do with my time, like trying to get my son on an elephant. But no. The kid in me's like, "Why are they the best?" And then he points at the shirt again. "Iron Man sucks. Batman's #1. I go, "Why?" "Because he is." I go, "That's not an argument. First of all, Batman's not the best superhero. I hate to break it to you. He's not." I can hear people already getting ready to boo. They're like, "Oh, no, no, Fluffy, don't go there. Don't go there, Fluffy. Don't do it." Yes, I'm going to do this. Watch this. Batman's not the best superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero that has ever lived. He even sounds creepy. "I'm Batman. I'm Batman." You don't recognize that voice? "Want some candy? Help me find my puppy." Hello, he only comes out at night. His face is always covered up. He's always waiting in alleys. And who does he talk to? A guy named Joker, a guy named Riddler. His name is Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Those are Mexican gang member names. Can you imagine if that was Batman's real identity at night? "I'm Batman." During the day? "No, chingue su madre, soy Batman, loco. Todo el pinche día aquí trabajando y luego le parte la madre Joker." "I'm Batman." I said, "All right, Fabian, Mr. Batman's the best. Based on my t-shirt says Marvel Comics." I said, "I see Thor, I see Captain America, I see Iron Man. Who are some of the superheroes that DC Comics has that makes them better than Marvel?" "Go." "Batman." "You said that." "Superman." "That's a good one." "Wonder Woman." "Okay." "Green Lantern." Whoa, 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 whoa. I said, "I know the other superheroes, but Green Lantern? What's his power?" "He wears a ring, and the ring gives him power." I said, "That's a fantasy. I don't know any man who wears a ring who has power." And if you're not clapping right now, my point exactly. You can't clap, can you? You can't. You know why you can't clap? Because you're sitting next to kryptonite. He's not even clapping. He's like, no, 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 no. No, no, me pega Wonder Woman. No, no, no. I am super excited, you guys. Let me tell you, this is our 19th year coming to Chicago, okay? 19 years. The first time I came here, I got a chance to meet some people, and they says, you know what, Gabriel, have you ever been here? Have you ever been to Chicago? Like, no, it's my first time. They said, well, you know, we'd like to take you out to eat if you're down. And I'm like, well, hello. I am very down. They took me to a restaurant called Portillo's. You heard of it? So we get there, and it was very, very good. The hot dogs were delicious. I had a chicken chop salad, it was amazing. Had a beef dip, really, really good. But it wasn't until the meal was almost over that these new friends of mine said, we'd like for you to try something you might not have ever had before. And I'm like, that's not likely. I said, well, what is it you want me to try? And they said, well, they sell a thing here at Portillo's called a chocolate cake shake. I said, you had me at chocolate. They said, well, you got to go up to the special window and you got to order it from the lady. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get up and I walk over to the lady and she's like, can I help you? I say, yes, my friends are telling me that I need to try this thing called a chocolate cake shake. Okay, what size would you like? How good is it? You want a large. All right, can I please have a large chocolate cake shake? No problem. And there I pay. And she turns around. She turns around and she walks over to this little refrigerator that's on the counter. And she opens it up and she pulls out a piece of chocolate cake. And I'm thinking to myself, she must misunderstood what I said. I didn't ask for a piece of chocolate cake, I asked for a chocolate cake shake. She must have heard what I was thinking because she's walking by and she's like, it's gonna happen. She walks over to the blender, she takes the freaking lid off, and she just looks at me and does this. And I was like, no. And she's like, oh yeah. She pours it and she hands me this like 44-ounce chocolate shake, which is way more than anybody should be drinking. The straw was so thick you could almost fit your thumb in it, okay? So I grab the shake and I begin to attempt to drink it. So I'm just, and I can see the shake coming out. And it hit, and then all of a sudden, woo! I am officially down 100 pounds. Yeah. I know some of you in the front are looking at me right now like, well, how big were you? I know. Hercules, yeah. Anyways, you guys, let me tell you what happened. Basically, I found out I was a little sick. I was diagnosed about 2 years ago, type 2 diabetic. Now, I maxed out at 445 pounds. Yeah, that's way past fluffy, okay? Let's be honest, that's not even, damn! 445 pounds, that's borderline Discovery Channel fat. That was like, I couldn't leave the house, you know?
He wants to go to the movies.
It was really bad, you guys, and so I was waking up every morning with a 300 plus sugar level. Now, anyone who knows anything about diabetes, that is super high. And you do that enough times, and eventually, clear.
It's so hard to say goodbye. They buried him in frosting. It was the sweetest funeral ever. Everyone got a cupcake. It was so nice.
I'm at the doctor's office, you guys, and the doctor tells me, he says, listen, Gabriel, you're 445 pounds, your weight is out of control, your diabetes is out of control, you're 35 years old, you will not live another 2 years. I guarantee it. And I got very emotional, you know. I was like, are you serious? He goes, 2 years tops. And I was like, but I just started making money. Well, it's gonna be a nice funeral. I was like, what an ass. So it took a lot for me to finally start doing something about it, you know, because it's not like this is the first time I try to lose weight. This has been happening for a long time, but somebody tells you you're gonna die, you actually wake up. So what it took the support of my friends, my family, and, you know, especially, I gotta give credit where credit is due. Martin, you guys, helped me out so much because he's always encouraging me to go to the gym. Let's go work out, bro. Let's go do something. And more importantly than let's go work out is, you know, we're on the road together 46 weeks out of the year, so we eat together a lot, and he's always watching what I eat. And if he sees me reaching for something I shouldn't mess with, he checks me, especially breakfast. That's my favorite meal. I love breakfast. And they always put us at these nice hotels where they give us this continental breakfast with the buffet, and, you know, if I'm eating eggs and bacon and sausage, that's fine. Yes, some of it's fattening, but guess what? No sugar. If Martin sees me reaching for muffins or waffles, he makes a scene. He waits for me to get about 15 feet away, and he starts yelling in front of all the people at the restaurant. Oh yeah, he's still ghetto. I don't care if it's a Ritz-Carlton. Guess what? Machete's here. He starts yelling. He waits for me to get 15 feet away, and then he starts. Really, bro? You're gonna put that in your mouth, Fluffy? You know what that's gonna do to your body? Hey, have some self-respect. And he makes me cry at breakfast. I'm sad. I'm like, I don't want the muffin. I don't want it. I don't want the muffin. I'm not a little whore. I'm not a little whore. But see, that is a real friend who would check me and remind me, hey, bro, get mad at me all you want. I just want you to live. And I gotta respect that. That's why I love that dude, you know? And in turn, sometimes I gotta check Martin. Yeah. Believe me, you guys, it goes both ways. Sometimes I have to check him, not about his weight, but he has his demons too. You know, oh, believe that. Yes, sometimes there's limited space at the hotels where we're staying at. So sometimes we gotta double up on a room. And every now and then, Martino brings some random girl to the room at 3 o'clock in the morning, wakes me up. I gotta look at him and say, really, bro? You're gonna put that in your mouth? Do you know what that's gonna do to your body? Hey, have some self. He doesn't, he really doesn't. You know, a lot. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just so goddamn happy right now. Thank you. I wish my mom were here to see this. You have no idea. She would have been happy to see all of you, but she would have been like, no, chinga su madre. Mira lo que mi hijo está en el cielo. Anda ya con Jesus in the sky. Mira. That is amazing. Some of you guys okay? I heard a cough over there. You all right? Don't cough. They just let us come back. I would rather you fart than cough. If you feel another one of those coming, just hold your face, convert the energy, and blow it out the back. All right? And I know the people behind you are like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You let it rip. And if the people behind you can't smell it, then they got COVID. Okay? That's a free home test. Anyway, so during 2020, my dogs and I, the most normal thing we could do was just take a drive. Okay, drives, you could just get in the car. Nothing was open, but you could take a drive. And so we get in the car, and I put on this playlist and just drive. Eventually, we went out looking for food. And I know that sounds crazy to say it that way, but remember, 85% of the underlying conditions. I never once set foot in a market because I was afraid. All of my food came from friends and street vendors. Yeah. Yes, I support street vendors in case anyone's wondering. Because no matter what, they're working their asses off, again, trying to make a better life for themselves and for their families. After leaving a taco stand one night, I realized that a lot of people needed to step out of their comfort zones in order to find alternative ways of making ends meet. I made the mistake one night of assuming the guy working the stand was Mexican. He wasn't. I even spoke Spanish to him, which is a no-no. The rule is, when engaging a brown person, you must speak English to them first, and then if there's a language barrier, then you go to Plan B high school Spanish. You start off in English. Hello, sir, may I? ¿Qué? No entiendo. ¿Qué pasó? Oh, hold on, I got this. Hola. Yummy. So I walked up to this guy at the stand, and I was like, he reminded me of a tío. So I was like, hey, ¿qué onda, compa? ¿Cómo estás? And which is like, hello, friend, how are you? And he responded, what are you saying to me? I'm sorry, sir, I thought you were Mexican. No, I am not a Mexican. I am not a Mexican. I am Greek. Greek? Shit, I was way off. I'm sorry, bro. It's late. I'm tired. Can I have 2 tacos? What do you mean, can I have 2 tacos? I just finished telling you I am not a Mexican. I am Greek. I do not sell taco. I sell gyro. Gyro? And then I remember seeing writing on the front of the cart, and I just thought it was like the guy's name or something, right? I was like, it spells it out. G-Y-R-O. It's a gyro. He got all pissy. It is not a gyro, it is gyro. That shit says gyro. It is gyro. Bro, I'm tired, it's late. What is a gyro? It's like a taco. Give me 2. Eventually, businesses started opening their doors and allowing us to go back inside. And I'll tell you guys right now, my big guilty pleasure is Starbucks, okay? That's my guilty pleasure. I'm all about a Starbucks drive-thru. But the difference is, when you have the option of going inside versus drive-thru, that's one thing. But when they tell you you can't go inside anymore, and then they tell you you can, you kind of miss. Like me, I couldn't wait to go back inside when they said the doors are opening up. I couldn't wait to go in and order from a counter and talk to a person and look at a menu. I didn't mind. I showed up early. Got my dogs with me. I didn't care. We walk into Starbucks. And I know they did this over in Long Beach. I'm not sure if they did this here, but they put stickers on the floor. And so there I am standing on this freaking sticker. I got my dogs just chilling, standing there looking like a third grader. We're just chilling, waiting. And some lady behind me notices that I'm holding 2 dogs. She clearly had an issue with the fact that I was holding 2 dogs. And instead of saying, pardon me, excuse me, hey there, hi, hola, she does the whole, I'm hearing this and I'm like, shit, COVID. I don't see any stickers. I'm off the grid. And she was like,
I do not have COVID. Are those service dogs?
They're Chihuahuas. And these in particular are the complete opposite of service dogs.
Well, are they supposed to be inside?
I say, I didn't ask. It's just that I didn't want to leave them in the car. I'm not even staying. I'm just going to order my drinks and I'm going to leave. I'm not even going to put them down. I'm sorry. And she's like, well, are they at least legal? You're going to ask a Mexican if his dogs are legal? Fortunately, next in line. Thank God. So I get to the front, and now I'm worried because the lady has me thinking in the back of my head that I'm doing something bad, that I'm about to get scolded or kicked out. So I'm trying not to make eye contact with the guy. So I'm just looking at the menu, and I hear him. Dogs. Oh, hi, bro. Sorry about that. Sorry. I know. They're adorable. What are their names? Oh, well, this is Vinny. This is Risa. They're so cute. Well, thank you. And then here comes another barista, and she's like, I see dogs. I'm sorry.
They're adorable. What are their names?
I said, oh, well, this is Vinny. This is Risa.
They're too cute.
Well, thank you. So I place my order, and then the girl barista, she goes, yes? I gotta tell you something about your dogs, right? I know, I'm sorry, I just didn't want to leave them in the car.
What are the little ones gonna have?
Well, as much as I would love to share my coffee with my dogs, I don't think caffeine and Chihuahuas mix.
No, silly. Maybe your little puppies would like a puppuccino.
Okay, you see that shit? Now you're vocal. When I talked about the stickers, we don't know nothing about stickers, but un pinche puppuccino all freaking day, right? Sorry. Anyway, when she said puppuccino, I was like, what kind of a drink is it? I'm looking at the menu. I'm like, I don't see that shit anywhere. What is that?
No, silly. A puppuccino is just a little cup, and we put whipped cream in the cup. This way, you can enjoy your beverage, and your little ones can enjoy something with you.
I said, oh my God, I love this. How much are they?
Oh, they're free.
Tell me more. You have 2 little puppies, so you get 2 free puppuccinos. Oh my God. Can I have a 3rd one? Oh, is there another little puppy we're missing? This one. I was so excited. I told her, I said, do you understand how happy you just made me with this whole puppuccino thing? Oh, yeah. They let it be known that if anyone ever shows up with a dog, always offer them a puppuccino on the house. So it's cool that I walked in with my dogs. Oh, yeah. They're welcome anytime. Oh, I'll just tell you guys right now, I am very petty. I am so petty. I was like, can you say that louder? Your puppies are welcome anytime. I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little bit like Canelo. I did, I couldn't help it. I turned around, I was like, hey, you hear that, bitch mother? Basically, I found out I was a little sick. I was diagnosed about 2 years ago, type 2 diabetic. Now, I maxed out at 445 pounds. Yeah, that's way past fluffy, okay? Let's be honest, that's not even, damn! 445 pounds, that's borderline Discovery Channel fat. That was like, I couldn't leave the house, you know?
He wants to go to the movies.
It was really bad, you guys, and so I was waking up every morning with a 300 plus sugar level. Now, anyone who knows anything about diabetes, that is super high. And you do that enough times and eventually, clear.
It's so hard to say goodbye. They buried him in frosting.
So here's the story. So I had done shows before, in Texas, and I had never done a show in San Antonio. So the original plan was we wanted to record a special in San Antonio for the new Netflix show, for the series. So we couldn't really travel too much. And remember, they kept telling us, stay in your bubble, stay in your COVID bubble. Don't forget to stay in your bubble. So in order to be as proactive and just careful, we all went out there together as a team, okay? And then we all basically said, we're gonna do a residency in San Antonio for 30 days. 30 shows in 30 days. And on the last day, we'll record a new special. This way it gives me a chance to start performing again because it'd been over a year since I touched the stage. And so we get there and they gave me the option. Do you wanna stay in a house or do you wanna stay in a hotel? And I said, well, I've never lived in Texas before, so let's see what a house feels like. So they got us like this fancy Airbnb, and basically, it was Martin, Alfred, my friend Rick, myself. It was like 4 of us. It was like the Mexican version of the real world, okay? So we're all in this big house together. Everyone gets their own room. And so, of course, I get the big room because it's me. And, look at some, no, yes. So I open up the door, I turn on the light, click. And I'm like, this is a beautiful room. Wow, look how big it is. And then I notice there's a hole in the wall. And I said, that's weird. So I get really close to the wall. And when I got close, I realized it's not a hole, it's a big ass roach. And let me tell you, I am not exaggerating when I tell you that cuca was this big. That roach was this big. Now, I have used this unit of measure before to exaggerate. And let me tell you, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that freaking cucaracha was this big. And I don't want you guys thinking, oh, what, you think you're too good for roaches? No! I grew up with roaches my whole life. My mom and I, we lived in apartment buildings, projects. We always had roaches, but they were different. First of all, they were this big. And California roaches are very different. Okay? For example, when you turn on the light, they scatter. In Texas, he chilled. In California, they respond to sound and movement. Ah! Scatter. I tried my California technique on this Tejano roach. I said, ah! And the roach was like, what? Oh my God, I don't think he's in my room. I think I'm in his. And at that moment, my tour manager walks in the room and she's like, is everything okay with the accommodations? I said, no, the room is beautiful, but look at the wall. Aw, there's a hole in the wall. I said, get closer. She gets up to the wall and she's like, oh, it's a big ass roach. I said, you're okay with that? She said, he's not in my room. She can see that I'm visibly bothered by this roach. So she's like, would you like me to take care of your little friend for you? And it is a little emasculating because I'm a big guy and she's like 5'2". So she's like, move, fool. She takes off her shoes, she grabs it, she gets up on a chair, and she brings it back, and she's like, you know, soy la 69. Bam! Nailed that roach. Threw down her shoe, put it on. I look at the wall, and it kept moving. And I said, you have angered our friend. And she was like defensive. Fool, round two. So she grabs her shoe, gets back up on the stool, and she brings it back. And just as she's about to nail this roach for the second time, that shit started flying. My buddy Tony and I, we go to a high school reunion. We get there early, too early. There's nobody in the banquet hall. So we go upstairs to the bar area. We're watching a basketball game. Everything is cool until some guy recognized me. Hey, you're the comedian. What's up, dude? Dude, funny, bro. Let me buy you a shot. Actually, man, I have my reunion right now, and I don't want to show up drunk. Oh, I see how it is, bro. You're too good, huh? That's what it is, huh? Excuse me, George Lopez. Let's do the stupid shot. All right, bartender shot. So he freaking makes a double. And we freaking cling, cling, and slammed it. I'm like, oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Let's do another one. Oh, hey, man, I'm okay. Thank you. See how it is, Paul Rodriguez? Let's do another shot. And speaking of whores, let me tell you where they put us up at. That's a bad segue. No, there's no whores at this hotel. Listen, I would like to personally thank the promoters for not only making this special happen, but for taking really good care of us. They put us at a hotel that's right across the street, you guys. And you know you're in a good hotel when you get inside of the elevator and it talks. It's one of those, you know?
First floor. Second floor. Third floor.
I'm like, man, she sounds hot.
Fourth floor. Fifth floor.
Oh, yeah. Martin asked me, how far are you going up? I said, all the way. I gotta see how this ends, you know what I'm saying? Oh, man. And by the way, you guys, since the last time we were here, I've had a few things change in my life. Some things happened that were so crazy that I couldn't even believe that it was a possibility. First thing that happened was I had my first ever celebrity death hoax, meaning that someone faked my death on the internet and it went viral. Someone wrote an amazing article that was read by over 30 million people that was so good, even I was like, oh my God, I was so nice. TMZ reported it for 30 minutes until they called my publicist and confirmed that I was still alive. The article said that I had died October 31st from complications of type 2 diabetes. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, that's a hell of a day to kill a diabetic. You know what I mean? That's like killing Santa on Christmas Eve. 30 million people read this article. No one thought to call me. Except Martin. That's right. Martin was the only one that called me. And I think that was just to verify that he still had employment. I got that phone call. Hello? Martin was like, hey, you dead? No, man, I'm good. I figured you would have texted me. And I would have, because that's the kind of friend I am, you know? I even asked my son Frankie, I said, Frankie, did you hear I died? That's what they meant. I go, what do you mean that's what they meant? Well, my friends were asking if you were okay. I go, what'd you tell them? I hadn't seen you. So, well, apparently I died. Welcome back. And that's another thing that's changed, you guys. My son Frankie is now 18 years old and 1 week away from graduation. You guys are clapping, but he's not leaving. I've already asked him, I said, Frankie, what do you want to do with your life? Have you thought about college? Just now. I'm like, Frankie, you do realize that all you need to do is get accepted. I tell a lot of jokes. I will pay for your entire college education, no matter where you want to go. As long as you get accepted. What do you think about that? I say, you know, if you want to go to school in California, we'll make it happen. You want to go to school out of state, we'll make it happen. I said, hell, I'll even do one of those international programs. You know, the ones where you give them one of your children and then they give you one of their children? What is it called when you kid swap? Thank you, sorry. That's right, exchange. Some of you are like, that's called human trafficking. Different program. I would love to do an exchange program with my son, but don't give me a regular kid. If I'm gonna do an exchange program, give me a kid from like a hardcore third world country so that he appreciates all the basic things most American children take for granted. That's why I say, give me little Tombutu. Give me Tombutu. I would love Tombutu, and Tombutu would love me.
Mr. Fluffy?
Yes, Tombutu.
I was wondering, what time do we go to sleep?
You go to sleep whenever you like. This is your room. We sleep next door. All of this is for Tombutu? Yes, all of this is for Tombutu.
In my village, 2 families sleep in an area this big.
Well, here in America, one big-ass Mexican kid sleeps right here. Enjoy. And then I would take him to like IHOP or Denny's and let him order whatever he wants and just watch him lose it. You know?
This is the Thanksgiving I heard of. Thank you, Mr. Fluffy. Thank you. If there is anything Tombutu can do for you, please tell me. Anything.
Can you help me take out the trash?
For you, I will eat the trash.
Meanwhile, my son's on the other side of the world on top of an elephant trying to get Wi-Fi. I love my son very much, you guys. It's just that sometimes he doesn't get the position he's in. He doesn't realize it, which is why I love it whenever he brings his friends over. He brings his friends over the house and they're constantly saying what I'm saying. And as a parent, anytime you tell your kids something, that's one thing. When you can get their friends to say what you say, you can't pay for that. And they're always doing it. Frankie, you're lucky, man. Your dad's trying to help you go to college. My dad wants me to get a job. Frankie, you're lucky, man. Your dad's trying to give you a car. My dad doesn't even trust me to walk. You're lucky, man. And I hear this and I'm like, I love these kids. Because see, my son is very numb to this situation. He's very numb to all of you, and he's very numb to Fluffy. Okay, he doesn't see Fluffy. He sees Dad. Dad! I'm just Dad. I'm the guy that tells him, clean your room, take a shower, and put on deodorant, which he does very well now. But you guys saw what I had to do to make that happen. See, his friends, on the other hand, they still get excited when they see me. They still geek out. I walk into the living room, they're all sitting there. Frankie sees me. Hey, Dad. His friends see me. They see this. With like doves. Can you imagine if every time you walked into a room that happened?
He's here.
Ladies, imagine if your partner could do that for you. It's your anniversary, a celebration, some magical moment, or you're just laying there and you're drunk. And you're just like, what are you gonna do to me? What are you gonna do? One extra dove. And by the way, guys, if you're ever able to pull off the doves, just leave it at that. Don't try to top the doves. It's very hard to top the doves. Don't start running your mouth and talking smack. She's laying there, and don't start, you don't even know what's gonna happen to you. You don't even understand. You're gonna get it. Don't do that, because ladies, all you have to do is look at him and go, ah.
But I guess I should feel honored at the fact that someone at his level would even acknowledge a comedian. It feels good at least knowing that he knows who I am, which is nice. It at least makes me feel relevant. Because, after 2019, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Honestly, for me, I thought that 2019 was the best year I ever had in comedy. And the reason why I say this is because I was this close to hosting the Oscars. Yeah. Pretty sure I got a good chance next year. The year that I almost got to host, that was the year that Kevin Hart was supposed to host. And I don't know if you guys remember the story or not, but basically, Kevin Hart was supposed to host the Oscars. And anytime you host, the background check is next level, okay? They go through all of your social media, all the way back to MySpace. People over 40, you know what's up. Come to find out that 10 years ago, Kevin Hart had sent out a couple of tweets that were questionable. So the Academy confronted Kevin Hart about the tweets. And they said, Kevin, can you please explain? And Kevin was like, yes, I said those things. I acknowledged them 10 years ago. And I apologized 10 years ago. Can we move forward? And the Academy was like, well, good, Kevin. We're glad that you apologized because they've been brought to our attention again. And we need for this to go away. So we need you to apologize. And Kevin said, you can't make me apologize twice for the same thing 10 years apart. And they said, well, you have to, because if you don't, you cannot host the Oscars. And Kevin said, well, thank you, but no thank you. And he walked away from the job. I would have done the same thing in his position. Because by him apologizing, he gives more power to cancel culture, and we can't give him more. We got to take it back. So now the Academy was left with a problem, trying to find a suitable replacement for Kevin Hart, which is not an easy thing to do. So they reached out to a bunch of actors to see if there was interest. And everyone said the same thing. Thank you, but no thank you. We want no part of that Kevin Hart drama. No one wanted the job. Me, on the other hand. Oh, I recognize a job opening when I see one. So I had my manager call the Academy, and the Academy was thrilled to hear from anyone. They were like, Gabriel Iglesias, yes, we know who he is. He's very funny, very witty. We think he would make a good host for the Oscars. Please have him submit some comedy material so we can see what the vibe of the night would be. And based on the material, we'll make our choice. So that's what I did. I sat down one night, got a pen, piece of paper, wrote out a bunch of jokes, and I turned them into the Oscars. And I think that's why they said no. It never made it to TV. So tonight, I would like to do the opening joke that I was going to do for the Oscars. And then you can decide what the vibe of the night would have been. All right, let me do the voice. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Academy Awards. Here's tonight's host, comedian funny man, Gabriel Iglesias. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. It is an honor. Thank you. It is an honor to be here tonight, hosting the Oscars. In keeping with tradition, here is another Mexican doing a job nobody else wanted. And they passed. They passed. Yeah. You know, and then getting back into the swing of things, we have definitely come a long way from 2020. The fact that we're in a sold-out stadium, elbow to elbow, ready to laugh, have fun. We've come a long way. You know? 2020, you guys, I got to just thank my dogs. I got to thank my dogs because my dogs kept me sane. They kept me happy. They kept me focused. Because I was so depressed. I was sad. I didn't know what to make of things. Do we have any dog owners? Yeah? See, dog owners, you know what's up. No other animal in the world will give you 100% like a dog. What, cat? No. I'm sorry. No disrespect to cats or cat owners. But cat owners, you know as well as I do. Your cats, because I know you got more than one. Your cats look at you like you live in their house. You walk in, you try to scold them for something. And then when you try to talk to them, they turn their back on you and show you their butthole. And you're staring, you're like, oh my God, it's so dark. Only a dog will give you 100% of itself. That's why they get so sad when they know you're about to leave, and why they get so happy when you come home. You are literally everything they've been looking forward to. And now you're back! I know for a fact, nothing on this planet loves me more than my dogs. I said this last night and someone said, what about your son? I said, nothing loves me more. I could leave my dressing room for 1 minute or 1 hour. When I come back, the reaction is the same. It is the greatest moment ever, every single time. Oh yeah. My dog Vinny will jump off the couch and run towards me top speed. And then when he gets to me, he jumps up and down. And he makes a sound like a... You can almost hear, where were you? Where were you? Where were you? And he pees everywhere. I used to get upset that he would do that, but then I thought about it. My dog loves me so much, he cannot control his own bodily functions. That's why when I would go home, I would immediately pick him up before anything. And then my girlfriend would get mad. How come you don't come to me first? I said, because the dog loves me more. How do you know I don't love you more? I said, I don't see a puddle. Mira, dry. Yeah, she didn't like that. Sorry. But yeah, these dogs, man, let me tell you. And I apologize if I'm kind of stuttering or I'm not as focused right now. I have never been distracted by a blimp with my face on it. I'm sorry, Netflix, but shit, this... This is like a birthday and Christmas and the Super Bowl and the World Series and losing my virginity all at the same time. Even saw the lights of the Goodyear blimp. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just so goddamn happy right now. Thank you. I wish my mom were here to see this. You have no idea. She would have been happy to see all of you, but she would have been like, no, chinga su madre. Mira lo que mi hijo está en el cielo. Anda ya con Jesus in the sky. Mira. That is amazing.
So let me give you a heads up as to what has happened since the last time I did a special. My son Frankie is now 19 years old. 19 years old, high school graduate. He has all his shots, ladies. People tell me all the time, why do you talk about your son so much? Because he won't leave. Does he like it when you talk about him? I said, no, he hates it. Well, why do you do it? Because he won't leave. I'll tell you what he likes to do right now. He likes to sit around the house and watch videos of other kids playing video games. See, some of you are clapping. I didn't know that was an actual thing. I asked him, what are you doing? I'm watching other kids playing video games. I said, that's really? Why? Well, they're professionals. I'm like, why would you watch something that you could be doing? Because they're professionals. That's dumb. Really, Dad? Every Sunday, I see you watching football. How come you don't play? I didn't even argue. I just cut off the internet. My son's problem right now is that he has, according to him, too many options. Okay, that's his problem. I'm like, poor guy. I have so many options, Dad. I don't know what to do. Write them down. Put them on a wheel. Freaking. Today, plumber. Something. The problem is we go places, people find out he is my son, and then they offer him opportunities. He doesn't understand that that's not how the real world works. I know about struggling and clawing and fighting for the opportunity to do something. He doesn't get it yet. And that's my fault. For example, I take him and his mom out to dinner, okay? I took them both to Red Lobster. Now, Houston, me personally, I love Red Lobster, okay? And not even for the seafood. I'm talking about the biscuits. Oh, yeah. So we're sitting there and we're having a conversation with our son about life, opportunity, what does he want to do with himself? And as we're talking to him, the manager from Red Lobster walks over to our table. And he's being really cool, right? He's like, hey. And I'm like, hey. He looks at my son. Is this the infamous Frankie? I said, why, yes, it is. He just graduated. Congratulations. And he's looking for a job. The manager goes, oh, say no more. And he gives my son a business card. And then he starts to say, listen, Frankie, this is all you have to do. Just go online and fill out the application. Once it's registered, call me personally, and I'll see to it that you get an interview. The only position we have available right now is for a host, but there's plenty of room for opportunity here at Red Lobster. Besides, you got one hell of a reference. And then he walked away, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get free biscuits. My son looks at me and says, I don't want to work at Red Lobster. I said, Frankie, no one is making you work anywhere. This is just another opportunity that you're wasting. Okay, no Red Lobster. What's your plan? Oh, I don't know. I got frustrated, so I raised my voice. Well, you better start thinking. His mom didn't like that. Don't talk to him like that. I said, look, biscuit blocker. See, up to this point, we have agreed on how we raise our son. But in this situation, she's trying to protect him from the world. I'm trying to prepare him for the world. If he cannot handle me raising my voice to get his attention, to see the bigger picture, he's not ready for a world that doesn't care about his feelings. So I say, you know what? I gotta have a one-on-one with him. I gotta have a one-on-one without... So I take him out to the movies. We get in the car, we take off. Little 20-minute drive, okay? As we're driving, I figure I'll have a little one-on-one with him. Maybe this way it doesn't feel like a talk. I thought he understood what I was trying to say. It's late, we're leaving the movies, we're pulling out of the parking structure, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a cop car. And I made a sound, I was like, ugh. And Frankie goes, what is it, Dad? I said, there's a cop at the light. What are you worried about? He's gonna stop us. How do you know? Watch. I made that left turn. Frankie's losing it. It's happening! I said, relax. I pull over. Cop pulls up from behind. Immediately. Driver, windows down. Oh. Driver, hands out the window.
Serious?
Both of them. I can't, I'm fat! He gets to the window, and he's got the flashlight, and he shines the light right in my face. He's like, license? Yeah. Here. He takes the license, and then, of course, do you know why I stopped you? Officer, no, I don't, but I'm sure you're about to tell me. You don't have a front plate on your car. I said, officer, you're absolutely right. I do not have a front plate on my car, but my name is actually on the front of the car. Excuse me, my name is on the front of the car. I own a 2012 Ford Flex, and the Ford Flex has the actual word flex written on the hood. I have a friend who does custom automotive work, and he took all the letters off the car except for the letter F,
and he made letters so that it spells fluffy on the hood. Okay? Yeah. It sounds impressive. You can do it too for like $23. It's not that bad. They're like refrigerator magnets. You can even move them. Like one day a letter flew off and it said Foofy. Look at me. Que pendejo. I know, stupid, right? So the officer walks around to the front of the car and he takes his flashlight and he shines the light right on the hood. And he does this. He goes, I knew it. And my son goes, what does that mean? I said, that means we get to go. Oh, Houston, for the first time in a long time, my son was actually impressed by something that I did. You gotta figure, this is not impressive to my son because he grew up in this environment, okay? You saw that, right? I saw like a... That's like the third one I've seen. It's like stuff keeps... People upstairs from Tombow. Keep talking. All right, I'll tell you guys what happened. Shakira performed here a few days ago, and Shakira has an amazing show, okay? She doesn't just come out and I think I just hurt myself. But there's a part of her show where all of a sudden it goes, and there's cannons with confetti that shoot everywhere, right? And I think that was leftover Shakira. Yeah. Can we edit out the part where I burned 800 calories? Oh my God. So where was I? Oh, this does nothing for my son. And the reason why I say that is because he grew up in this environment. He's been to 1,000 shows. He's seen me on TV 1,000,000 times. It's not a big deal. But the fact that I got stopped by a cop and the cop recognized me and geeked out and let us go, I earned street cred with my kid. Yeah, Frankie was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, hell yeah, cuz, that's right. You better recognize, player. We get home, he woke up his mom. Mom, you should have seen it. We got stopped by the cops. Are you okay? Yeah, they recognized Dad and they let us go. And she stayed quiet. And I told her, huh? I got recognized. And she said, ah.